So a couple of things I want to say. Obviously, Vaughn and I know each other very well. So when he talks about time, I have to say that, Vaughn does invest an incredible amount of time in the work that he does at Adelaide Sanford. He works tirelessly to ensure that what needs to happen is happening there. And one thing that I forgot to mention about his incredible tenacity and his patience is his complete willingness to continue to work with me, because I can only tell you how much time I take to work with him around this data. It's a huge commitment, and I just want to really just take a moment just to thank you, Vaughn, and acknowledge you, because you are such a hard worker, and I just so appreciate what you do every day. So we should give him a round, please. So I'd like to take a moment to introduce our next keynote speaker. So when I first assumed my role as managing director in New Jersey earlier this year, I kept hearing this name, Ms. Angela Nelms. And people said, you've got to get to know her. She's just doing so much. And I was just so completely struck by the impact that she clearly has had and continues to have on the community and the schools in it. So at the time, I had no idea how I would be working with Ms. Nelms, but now I have the opportunity to also share that I know how much she has impacted and all of the work that she does. She is just amazing in the way that she's committed to the schools here, and her generosity around sharing her knowledge is just phenomenal. So Ms. Nelms, for those of you the few of you in the room who may not know her, Ms. Nelms has been actively impacting education in New Jersey for over 40 years in her role as classroom teacher, assistant principal, and deputy district superintendent of Newark Public Schools. So even after retirement, when most people are kind of resting on their laurels, not Ms. Nelms. Oh no. She is tireless in her energy and enthusiasm for supporting the schools and the school leaders. So one example that I just have to share about her true dedication was her role in University Heights Charter School. When she arrived at that school, it was in great turmoil, and they were struggling, and Spirit moved her to come in there and do what she does. She had to help turn that school around. And it was because of her relentless belief, her incredible skill, and her amazing ability to foster and develop leadership in others that we see the incredible leadership at University Heights that we see here today. And those leaders are here today to talk with you about that transition. So I could never, in the time that we have, be able to sum up all the things that Ms. Nelms has done in her career, but there is a little blurb in your handout, so hopefully you'll have a chance to take a look at that. But I would like to, with great honor and respect, welcome to the mic, Ms. Angela Nelms.
Actually, I'm able to do the things that I'm doing now because I am working with such dynamic young leaders, those of you in this room. It's quite obvious that you are truly interested in putting in the time and the work that it takes to turn schools around. It's not easy. It is extremely difficult, but evidently it is something that you are committed to and that you truly want to do to make a difference for these babies in Newark. Yes, I was the State District Deputy Superintendent in Newark, and I retired a few years ago. Upon retiring, I was approached by some individuals to assist University Heights. But I'm going to go into that a little later. I want to talk about the kinds of things that district leaders must do in order to ensure that they change the culture of their schools and truly make them schools that practice data-driven instruction. As a deputy superintendent, I would prepare about 82 data foundation packets for every single school. The data in those packets, and it was about 25, 35 pages with every kind of data that one could think of. because you must look at the instructional or cognitive data, and you also must look at the affective data. You're dealing with youngsters who have needs that require you to meet all of them. Each principal would receive their foundation packet, and it would have all of the testing results for their school, the state results, and any district results. Overall, it would be given to them on a school-wide basis and then also on their grade level basis. They had to take that data and break it down teacher by teacher and then student by student. That data was what they were to use in order to drive the instruction in their schools. So it wasn't something that you leave in a packet and not pay attention to. Data-driven instruction is very difficult to do. And you must take on the responsibility of knowing that these are the kinds of actions and strategies that I must put in place as a leader to truly make a difference in the school. You can't get tired one day and decide not to be consistent the following day. I know that there are teachers in the room, and I'm not talking against teachers. I'm talking everybody, because teachers know who in their buildings are the strong advocates for children and those persons who are not. So it means that the administrators and the teachers must create and be a part of that culture of data-driven instruction. It means when you sit in your grade level meetings, the conversations aren't flimsy conversations that have nothing to do with moving your school forward. The conversations are about that data. You can hold people accountable when the data talks for you. And that's something that those of us who need to become stronger need to practice much more. Hold people accountable. When you go into your grade level meetings to talk to teachers, talk the data. Know how to take that data and then move towards how do I implement strategies and programs that are truly going to change my school. And leaders, you then have to know what resources, what materials am I going to provide to my teachers. You can't leave them out there struggling alone. So you've identified your concerns, your deficiencies. Now provide the resources that they need. When you go back in week after week, you stay focused on that data. You must start to see changes. Now, ANET allows us to look at it every 6 weeks, correct? But some of you may also have in place some benchmarking assessments that you do within your school that allows you to better look at what's happening in your school. You heard Vaughn talk about curriculum mapping. You must first, of course, have your curriculum alignment, then the curriculum mapping, then the assessments, and then looking at child by child to see how do I create these flexible groupings that will allow me to meet the needs of the children. What I see in individuals like you are people who have the capacity to want to move the school forward. People who have come into Newark to say, I can take the same children who have struggled in public schools and I can make a difference. But you truly must do so, because now you're in the fishbowl. Everybody is looking at charter schools as the savior. Everybody is looking at you hoping that you're truly going to make a difference for the children. And everybody expects you to do more. That's all you're reading, correct? You are in the fishbowl now. So, as you sit with your administrators, as you sit with your teachers, as you strategize, as Vaughn said, it is hard work. It was always hard work. When I was a principal at Camden Middle School, my school became a state demonstration site for effective schools. I had the opportunity to work with Lazard and to change that building. I totally changed the culture of that building. But everything in that building communicated that data was important. During the summer, teachers came in to write assessments because at that time, Kelmonster, we didn't have someone to assist us as you have been doing with the schools. But they wrote their assessments so that it could be given every 6 weeks or whatever time they so declared. They bought into the culture of it all. Now, there were some teachers whom we knew just would not fit. We can't be afraid to say to them, it's important that you find work elsewhere. It is important that you not remain and continue to destroy children. And it takes a tough administrator to do that. But believe me, when you have your data and you've documented everything accordingly, you can very graciously say things like that. So while many people may not have done it as they should have in the public schools, I pray that you are strong enough to do it and to truly make a difference for children. I also want us, because I'm a part of you now, I want us to understand that there are some difficulties in the public schools that sometimes do not allow people to branch out and grow and become the kinds of leaders that they truly want to. There's no ceiling for you. You recently read in the paper that Mayor Booker said he wanted to remove some of the things that got in the way of principals. Well, you can't remove it unless you have outstanding principals who know what to do. Principalship is not about the title. Principalship is about the capacity and knowing how to juggle all those things that you must do in order to truly make a difference for children. So, I charge you, take the bull by the horn, make those decisions that will make a difference for children, and turn the Newark Public Schools around. Thank you very much.